Hey, welcome to the Daily Joe, or your Daily Joe, and I got in the studio today Andrew Oser, who is, believe it or not, a funeral director, and he has his own business. Tell a little bit about what you're doing.
As Joe said, and thank you so much for having me.
I appreciate you being here, really. It's great.
Honored to be asked. I've got a funeral home in Canton at 23rd and Fulton, Schneeberger-Oser. We've been there in business since 1935. I recently purchased it about 2 years ago from my predecessor, and I'm the guy. We do the funeral directing, embalming, and everything else with the owner of the business. So.
And you also were a realtor, right?
I was in real estate investment. Yes.
Investment.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
You're
yes.
a broker?
No.
No broker. Okay. I thought you were a broker.
No. My grandfather was.
Okay.
I still do have some property holdings, but yeah. I exited out of that and decided to complicate my life by getting into the funeral service industry.
What brought you to that?
Actually, one of my dearest and closest friends passed away unexpectedly, and at early 50s. And the long and short of it is, I went to his funeral and I never left. I became friends with L.J. Schneeberger, who was my predecessor and former owner of our facility, and we were quite literally at the end of my friend's name was Bob. At the end of his funeral, we left, and I was going to go back the next day to get all the flowers and everything that we left behind.
Wow!
And I went back, and LJ had said, "Here we have a pool table in the basement." He said, "Do you want to play a couple games?" And I said, "Well, sure." We had a few games,
cool,
maybe a little sip or two, and then I had forgot to get the damn flowers. So I had to go back the next day. Same thing happened again, but the only difference is he was, we were at the tail end of COVID at that point, and he said, "You want to ride along? We've got to go do a removal at the hospital." And I was like,
he must have known you had some interest in that.
Yeah, we were just chatting, and we weren't all moving around freely so much at that point, and I said sure, and I literally just kind of kept coming back randomly. We'd shoot pool, we'd BS a little bit.
That's pretty cool.
And then I started working at funerals a little bit as an unlicensed associate. And after a while, he said, "You're coming around. What's the end game here?" And I said, "I'm kind of bored. There wasn't really anything happening." and he said, "Well, what does it take to get your license?" And I said, "Well, I don't know." So I went back and I looked into it. I went to school at Pittsburgh Pittsburgh Institute of Mortuary Science.
Wow.
I got my certifications, passed my state boards, served my apprenticeship. Said that all out of order, but
wow.
Yeah. So
how long did that take you to do?
It took about 3 years, because I did everything out of order. 2.5, 3 years to get fully licensed, but I was working in different aspects of the funeral home that time. And then when I finished everything, L.J. Schneeberger said, I'm ready to retire, and I want to sell. And
there you go.
So I said, okay, let's do it. And here we are. And now we have the firm Schneeberger-Oser Funeral Home.
That's cool. And he did take care of my puppy. He died on Friday, Shaggy. He died on Friday, and the vet told me to leave him in a garage or outside in the wintertime until they can do something on Monday, and I thought that was a horrible answer. So I called him, and he was gracious enough to take Mr. Shag and did some embalming for me, and I'm forever grateful. I mean, that's Shag, he's part of my family.
I didn't embalm the dog.
No, I'm sorry. Cremation.
No, I handled the cremation. Yes.
It'd be cool to embalm a dog, wouldn't it? Can they do that?
I'm sure you could. Yeah, I mean, I think they call that taxidermy.
But what's the difference in that? Is there a difference?
I can't speak for any taxidermists out there, but the embalming process in and of itself is a process of sanitation, preservation, and restoration. So our job is to make sure that your loved one looks as realistic as they would if they were in life. But
you did me a huge favor, and
Joe, we've worked together on several things before. I do it for anybody, but we're more than happy to do that.
I appreciate that. The answer that they gave me was like I couldn't. I mean, I realized it, but you can't. I mean, it's just like it's hard at that time.
We didn't start really doing pets until at all, even until a couple years ago. And one of the things it's an obvious solution. It keeps communications with
Sure.
with the families that we already serve.
Sure.
We don't necessarily overly advertise it, but we're happy to do it for families. I don't. I personally believe that the pets are our family. I don't care whether it's a guinea pig or a dog or a horse or whatever. But
I remember when you picked Shaggy up because you were. He's like, holy moly, he's a heavy boy.
he's a big boy.
Well,
He was a big boy.
Moose is 170. He's 100 pounds heavier than, or 110 heavier than Shag.
Dear Lord. I mean, well, at least you chose the appropriate name for him. So
Moose, yeah, he is.
yeah,
He's such a sweetheart.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's who I am. That's what we do. But
So how many funerals do you do average a year?
when I took over the firm and was serving my apprenticeship, we were doing 60 to 70 funerals a year. That's not very many.
Really?
No. Well,
I mean,
I think Mr. Schneeberger was moving towards retirement years and wasn't really looking to ramp business up. Whereas on the other hand, I am. And we're about to hit 200 funerals this year. In the 2 years of my ownership, we went to about 150 the first year, and we'll be damn near 200 this year. So
that's awesome.
I'm really excited about that. It's been a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, a lot of sleepless nights.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody passes away at 9 to 5.
No,
Okay, not
no.
not nobody, but a lot of the majority of deaths tend to happen at odd hours.
You're always on call.
So, and we pride ourselves in 90% of the time we do our own removals. We're always on site, so it is very time consuming, but it's part of how we work. Yeah.
I went to Polly Lorenzo, her son's funeral. That was tough, and she asked me to take pictures with my phone, and I said, I'm just going to get my camera out of the car. And a lot of people don't understand that, but people want that. Some people really want pictures. They don't want to see them right away,
Right.
but in a year or so, they want to see what was going on.
My take on that is that, especially for a close family member, and in Polly's situation where
Yeah.
she didn't, unfortunately, the natural law was broken. Parents are not supposed to bury their children.
Sure.
Even as an adult child, it still shouldn't happen. And the emotions were running so high, as they do at many funerals. I feel that photographic references to be able to go back to once things settle down, that, I hate to say when the dust settles, but
Sure.
When it does, you have something to actually remember that time by. And I know so many photographers, I'm sure yourself included, not only get the main person you're photographing in this
Sure.
case, but the surroundings and the people that were there.
Sure.
So,
Yeah, and that's what it's an event. Merely it's a celebration. Should be a celebration of life. It's hard because you're mourning the person's loss, but he was young too. He was young.
I think 35.
Yeah, not very
He was
cancer.
very young. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was actually, she was my first funeral. It was
Really?
in January of 2 years ago. Polly called me up, and I had run into her just randomly, and I hadn't seen her in years. I ran into her randomly, and we started chatting, and then I think that sparked the interest. And quite literally, when Bo passed away, she'd called me, and I said, "We're there for you, Polly, whatever you needed." And it was the first funeral that kicked off my ownership. I literally was sitting around for I want to say like 10 days in January right after this. I got a lot of expenses at this point,
Sure.
purchasing this place. I didn't have one call, and then Polly that started the
Took
ball
off.
rolling. Not that I.
Everybody's got it. You know what?
But,
I know. I get it.
But I will always and forever be appreciative of Polly Lorenzo, and she's a great realtor, a great person, a
She
great
is.
human, and beautiful family.
She told me her husband couldn't look at those pictures for
Yeah.
almost a year.
Yeah, they're really good people, and I run into
They are.
different members of the family
Very much.
But going back to what you said about funerals being a celebration, that's actually our tagline.
I've seen your commercials on TV.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, on Spectrum.
Celebrate a life well lived. That's what we say. And one thing is that, and funerals, they suck. There's no nice way to say it. Right?
Yeah, they do.
It's
Absolutely.
not a fun time, but they don't have to be bad.
Sure.
And in some cases, dare I say, they could actually be fun.
Well, I've been to some that were. They were very, very lively.
Oh yeah. Irish Catholics, boy, they like to have a good time.
Yes, they do.
We did a funeral, I want to say 3 years ago, and the decedent's last wish was that if they were to pass away during the OSU season, they wanted
There we go.
they wanted the service to be on game day, so Saturday, and the game be on, and they wanted to have a party.
Good for them.
And I said to the family, that did happen, and we were in season. I couldn't tell you who they were playing, but I said to the family, well, and they explained all this to me. So well, let's do it. That sounds great. If that's what they wanted, let's do it. And they were being cremated at the end of the service. So I said, you know what's really unfortunate about this is that we're going to put them in a casket.
Yeah.
And even though the game's on, that's going to be really unfortunate because it does kill the mood.
Sure.
So the family said, what do you suggest? And I said, well, and I said, well, hear me out. You might not like this. I said, what if we set our chapel up to look like their living room? Bring me their furniture,
Ah, cool.
their knickknacks, wherever they'd sit. We'll set the big screen up, and we'll have the game on. And
Wow.
And I said, but
That's going above and beyond.
I suggested that we position the body sitting up in a chair.
I wonder. Okay, cool.
So we did that, and
I wish I would have taken pictures of that.
full OSU garb, watching the game,
Wow.
and the family was all on board for it. It was no problem. I mean, everybody loved
cool.
it. And had the Buckeyes on and Bloody Mary in their hand, and I got to the office that morning at like 7 a.m. or so, and there were people out back with their smokers. Somebody brought a beer keg. College students from OSU showed up because they used to go down to the game. The
Tailgate
bar owner,
party.
yeah, it was a full-on tailgate. So much food. The Bucks did win, and it was I dare say fun at a funeral.
Yeah,
It was definitely different. There's no question about that.
that's probably the most bizarre.
Yeah, that's one of the more interesting requests that we've accommodated. But there's no right or wrong, and I think in any business, and in the funeral business, actually specifically though, you have the way that it's always been done. Doesn't matter which funeral home you go to. That's usually the same thing. You walk in the door, you stand in the line.
It's horrible.
And
it's horrible.
You act like a lemming, and you walk up, and you have awkward hugs with people. And
Yeah, you don't even know half the people.
you don't, and you don't really talk to anybody because you're in that line. And if it's especially a younger person, that line's real long. So we got rid of the line. We don't do that anymore. We encourage.
Oh, really? What do you do? So you just
We set our rooms up with standing cocktail tables and comfy couches, and we actually offset the guest of honor, so it's not the main focal point. Not everybody wants to go by the casket, and that's a personal preference. Some people don't like that, others do. So we instruct our families, pick any space in the building that's comfortable for you. Those that are coming, that know you, will find you, and it's been working out really well.
so there's like the immediate family up by the casket, or they're just kind of like.
I mean, if they want to be, I'm not going to discourage them, but we encourage them to stay elsewhere. And it's really the first few times we were doing it, it was kind of like teaching everybody some new steps for sure. But the feedback we get from it is absolutely incredible. So.
When my dad passed away, I just couldn't be up in the line, so I just roamed around and talked to people, and that was the best thing. People said, "Aren't you up in the line?" I said, "Well, for? I mean, I'm just roaming, I'm doing what I'm doing," and it was my way of dealing with it.
And we never double stack funerals, so we don't have Smith to the left, Jones to the right. You have our whole facility. So that being said, there's plenty of space.
Yeah,
And
you got a beautiful funeral home.
It's about to undergo some more renovations. We've done quite a bit so far. We're adding a community room in the basement for meals and such afterwards. That's
Well,
ready
that's
for our
smart. Yeah,
families.
that's
But I'm really excited. It just like I said, funerals they have a stigma to them, and you are losing a loved one. There's no question about that. And it's a terrible thing to have to go through.
We all have to go through it. That's the thing.
But we're going to try and make it as easy as possible, as streamlined as possible, and as customizable as you want. We'll give you a base idea on how to do things, but let's run with that. Let's make it something different.
I love that idea with the ball game. That was pretty cool.
It was, and there were a few people, I'll tell you, that showed up that weren't expecting that. And I'll be honest, it was, if you remember that 90s movie, Weekend at Bernie's, I'm not suggesting, people were moving, because that wasn't the case. Everyone was very respectful. It was what we were requested to do. But there were a few folks that popped in and were like, whoa, what's going on here? And then after they realized what was happening, and why we did it the way that we did it, well, you know what? They would have loved that.
Sure.
So, yeah.
I remember doing a wedding. Jesus, my brother would say, a funeral. And why don't you what do you got there?
Oh, it's the
embalming fluid. Oh man, perfect. We were doing a funeral, and they hired us, and they were going back to Jordan or somewhere where they wanted to show the video of photographs, and they want 3 days of this. And some people come up to me and they said, hey, we don't think this is the thing to do. And I said, you see those people right over there? He was a big boy. I said, you go talk to them, because they're the ones, that's his mom that's in the casket. He hired me. Yeah. So, you deal with that.
I think one of the problems is, and there's so many things in life where people, not just in funerals, but in anywhere where folks want to tell you what's right and what's wrong. And okay, don't kill people, don't do stuff like that. Obviously, that's pretty cut and dry. But, when it comes to grief, things like that, mind your business.
Yeah.
Everybody grieves differently.
Absolutely.
And if
there's
you want
no
to
right or wrong.
Yeah, there's no right or wrong. And I don't know if any funeral home or a funeral director out there that would ever permit something that would be inappropriate on that regard as well.
Sure.
We definitely have some unorthodox requests, but on the same note, we do it with dignity, with respect, and with what the family wants.
What's the most bizarre thing?
Well, that funeral was definitely the most interesting as far as the setup goes.
Yeah.
I love working with the families of the deceased. I love to embalm. That's it's my passion. Specifically, I love to do hard cases that need extensive restoration.
Oh, I bet, because you probably, yeah.
I don't have the years on me that some of my colleagues do. That's for sure. But I actively and.
But if you have the desire and you want to learn it.
I did work on an individual that was deceased for several weeks prior to.
That's got to be hard.
But we were able to do a full restoration.
Really?
And have an open casket so that the family and more importantly his son could be able to say goodbye. And that was an interesting time.
Your body really blows up, right?
Lots of things happen. And then depending on the position, and he was actually face down at the time, but I'm not going to get into too many of those details, but we were able to...
just the fact that you're able to do that,
it's
like me in Photoshop.
But real life, yeah.
I know, it's real life. It's a little different.
We don't do this, we don't do funerals for the dead. We don't do calling hours, the pomp and the circumstance of these for the dead. We don't. We do them for the living. We want them to have closure.
Sure.
And to be able to say goodbye. And especially for immediate family, or if there's children involved or things like that, that's our honor to be able to do that for our families. It can't always be done, but with a little bit of persistence and even oftentimes calling in colleagues. Interesting thing about the funeral world is that so many of us, we all know each other, and some of us have specialties in certain areas. Some are better than others at certain things. So, we are, obviously, it is a business, there is competition, but on the same note, if I called up a specific person that I know has a specific skill,
sure, and
said, hey, I got this tough case, I need help, would you mind popping over? And on the case I just mentioned, I had to do that. It was one of the earlier ones that I had done, and I had people from all over the state working with me on it. We had some FaceTimes. I got suggestions.
Wow.
A couple
Wow.
people stopped in, and it was. I'll be honest, it was a group effort. I pulled it, but that kind of started the trajectory into doing what I love, which is advanced restoration.
How long did that take you to do?
I had about 100 hours in him.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the funeral, obviously, if he was dead for 3 weeks,
About 2, probably.
they didn't need to have to hurry it like the funeral was calling out.
We try to get things.
I mean, to restore like that, that's got to be.
It's what works on one doesn't work on another.
Correct.
There's some tried and true methods, of course, but there's also exceptions to almost every rule, and you find that out oftentimes along the way. So, but I was very thankful to have some great mentors that helped me through that case, and when I did the presentation to the family for them to do their viewing, and I said, if we're not happy, we can close the casket. There's no problem. But they were very gracious. I believe I got a couple unsolicited hugs. So
Nice.
Which always makes you feel good.
Have you done a wedding where they didn't embalm?
You mean a funeral?
Funeral, I'm sorry. Why
Well,
am I going to
that's a
wedding?
Freudian slip there, Joe. I feel.
Jesus. Well, yeah, hey, Jesus. Because my brother, brother Jim, who's no longer with us, he used to call weddings funerals because he never liked going to them.
I guess some weddings are funerals, I suppose, if you want to look at it that way.
Yeah. I mean, I've shot, I don't know how many weddings, gosh.
But to answer your question, we would either have to close the casket if anybody other than, say, the immediate family were to come in if we didn't embalm the body. Embalming is not a law. It's not required, at least in Ohio.
Well, I attended a funeral where she was on ice. Like, literally, they had her frozen and they brought her out, and she was blue. But she was just like really, really cold, and it's just.
But I couldn't imagine. I don't know the exact circumstances. I couldn't imagine though that was anybody else that would see it immediately that would be getting close to the body. So
No, it was just like mostly family.
yeah. So that's one exception to the rule. Now, if we have a public viewing, like a public calling hours with an open casket, that's the time that we do have to embalm the body. It also allows us to do more advanced restoration. So, and yeah, I'm sure you've been to some places where you look in and see someone caked with makeup and things like that. If it's done properly, you shouldn't see that. A little makeup, sure, but ideally you do most of it from under the skin. So.
Wow. Somebody is an organ donor. Can they still have a traditional?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. My friend Bob, actually, the one that started this whole. I don't want to say.
Was that the guy that you sent me a picture of? You wanted me to do some with the school in the background?
No, that was my friend John. Actually,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
We didn't do his funeral. He was a little further out of town, but nice guy. But anyway, my friend Bob, actually, when he passed, he was an organ donor, tissue, bone, everything. And so when I saw what LJ had done, put him back together, and
So he was a pretty master, LG?
yeah. I mean, he's got 50 years in the business. I am so thankful. I literally, I fell upstairs on this one, quite literally. I couldn't have asked for a better mentor. He's taught me everything throughout the way. And although he stepped back from day-to-day operations, he's still in the building pretty regularly and always available if I come across a few problems.
Sure.
And which every case is different, every person's different, and he's seen a lot more than I have. So.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
And he's so apt to try and help whenever he can.
Well, that's
so.
nice. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Well, you're a nice guy.
Yeah, I mean, we try. We got a great staff. Just me, my assistant Alejandro, and LJ's there on a kind of a part-time basis, and we try to keep our overhead down, which keeps our prices down for
Sure.
our families. The last thing anyone needs is to be hit with a huge bill when it comes time. When you're already dealing with grief. So we try to keep things fair.
Well, I will say, going to your funeral home, it's much more modern. Some of the ones I go to are like in the 40s. I mean, it's like colors, and it's hard.
Some of our color schemes right now are still probably in the 70s, but we're working on getting rid of them right now. I don't know why everyone loved that mauve color, and
It makes your skin look better, I guess.
Oh boy! Well, with new lighting techniques now, it makes life so. It used to just be that one little like rosy hue bulb up, up top, or those sconces or portiers there that have red bulbs in them. Well, now with like Philips Hue lighting and things like that, we can change each individual light to a specific color to complement.
It's like these lights here. You can dial them anything you want.
So, and oftentimes we program them to slightly change a little bit throughout the service. So, it's technology, it's science, it's art, but most importantly, it's compassion. We deal with people on some of the darkest and saddest days of their lives.
Oh, absolutely. And you don't realize it. Everybody thinks they have time, or they can figure this out, or should pre-plan. I know it's kind of like morbid in a sense. People don't want to talk about death and they don't want to deal with it, but it makes it a lot easier. It's like getting a will and probate, all that stuff done before anything ever happens, because then it's so much easier.
I'm not trying to sales pitch anybody that's going to be watching this on pre-planning, but I will tell you that he's right. Definitely, please get a will. Just get a will, especially if you have children and you have assets. Get a will.
Get a will.
But pre-planning a funeral, it's not a fun procedure. No, it's not. But on the same note, it's taken care of. It's not a big bill that's going to be dropped. A bomb on the family, and they're fully transferable. If you move to Florida, if things change or whatever the situation is, you're not going to lose your money. But I think it's important to at least we give all of our customers a booklet. It's probably about 50 pages.
Wow.
And the title of it is "I'm Dead, Now What." It's pretty straightforward. And it's a planner. Whether you decide to fully fund a pre-planned package or not, we provide that to our families. And
can they do payments on that?
Oh yeah, they can. And the companies we work with, and any funeral home works with, they use a third party that hold the funds. It has to by federal law. So you can do. We use an insurance firm. You can also use a trust. If a funeral home were ever to say, "Oh, hey, just give me the money, wink, wink, and we'll see you when you run the other way," that's not a good idea.
Not a good idea.
But they could be. Payments are often done based on like a 3-year, 5-year, 7-year, depending on age, even up to 10. But they charge interest on that, of course. But none of them charge, or if they do, it's minimal for like paying it early. So if that's the situation now, but in a couple of years you're ready to go and just want to pay it off, that can be done. But prices only go up, and it's you lock everything in. That's the thing. Anything that is controlled by the funeral home, from the point of the casket, sometimes the vault, if we sold it, all of our services, things like that. And this goes for almost any funeral home. They usually guarantee prices. So you're buying today for. You're paying for today, you're buying for tomorrow. And the earlier
really,
you do it, the smarter it is.
Yeah. I know nobody wants. I don't even like thinking about it, but you got to cross that. You got to cross that bridge.
There's what's that old saying? There's two certainties in life: death and taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Taxes you can maybe avoid or skirt a little bit over the years, but their death will get you no matter what.
That's it.
And it's.
I don't know anybody hasn't not, but.
I'd love to meet them if that's the case, but it's. I know it's not a topic that a lot of people want to talk about. And actually, I have a billboard right now out. If any of you have seen it, it's caused a little bit of a social media stir. It says in big letters, "Death sucks," and then underneath it in parentheses it says, "But we can make it easier." And of course, our funeral home name. And I got a lot of flack recently on a couple of different social medias for it. And it actually, I guess, worked perfectly because it did what I wanted it to do, which is get people talking.
Yes, it's
And I still stand by the billboard simply because it's not fun.
No.
Nobody likes it. Nobody loves it. Nobody says, "Boy, I can't wait for." No, it's not a fun time. But if it's done, or when it happens, if the service is provided to you and what's laid out to you and the options you're given and the customization that can be done to reflect the life of your loved one or presented properly in a great way, it doesn't have to.
Sure.
It can be a lot better.
Sure.
It can be a lot easier.
It's a lot less stress for the
Yes.
people that are, because the person that's dead is dead. They're not. It's the living that have to deal with everything and the stress and. Yeah,
And that goes back to the pre-planning concept too. So if somebody passes away unexpectedly, the amount of decisions that have to be made within usually 24 to 48 hours is over 100.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
It really is when you, especially if it's on people. If it was sudden and nobody really saw it coming, then it's really hard. Because you're not expecting somebody 35 to die.
No.
Not really. Or,
No.
Yeah, it's just look at Bernie Kosar. It just, that kid donated his organs. It's like he was,
saw that.
was
Yeah,
he
that
21 or 22 or something like that? Yeah, so so he's living, his parents are sad, but they're happy because somebody else is living through, vicariously. So it's
a lot of, I don't want to speak for all funeral directors. I wouldn't do that. But I do know that there are a portion that are not a fan of the organ and tissue donation firms out there. One in this area is called Life Bank. The reason is because of the amount of extra work that it causes for the restoration. It doesn't bother me. I don't mind doing it. I'm happy to do it. I think it's wonderful. I know, like I said, my friend Bob, his donations, I believe, helped over 75 people.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's
whether it be a skin graft or corneas or I don't know, what exactly but I believe that his widow received a letter from Life Bank saying it was something like that, and that's a little bit of Bob lives on.
That's amazing. Yes,
and if you can do it, and it's not against your religious practices or anything like that, I would say.
I hear people say, well, if you have organ donor and you get in an accident, they're not going to try to save you. And I'm thinking, you always have that out there. In anything, though, not just.
No matter what, if it's our time, it's our time.
That's it.
And if that was when you're meant to go, that's when you're meant to go.
Yep.
I'm a firm believer in that. So.
Me too. I mean, you can't fight it. You can't run from it.
No, and we've seen the movie's Final Destination. No matter what, it gets you.
Sooner or later, you're gonna get it.
Yeah, that last one was actually pretty terrible. Did you ever see it?
No.
New one, yeah.
I heard about it.
Yeah, the family, had cheated death or had come back, and just it was death caught up, of course, in the end eventually, and it gets apparently angry when you try and stop its natural order. So
we don't want to bother.
Yeah.
No. Well, that's pretty cool, though.
I took a hard left in life doing what I do now, and I don't regret it even for a second. I'm one of the few people out there, I'm sure, these days that goes to work every single day and just love what I do. And it's...
I get it.
I know you do.
I get that.
I know you do.
Yes.
Every day is a new picture.
It's a whole different thing. You meet different people. You have different... Everything's different. I mean, it's...
The worst part is that I tend to meet the best people at the worst times.
Yep, I get it.
Or I missed out on meeting somebody that, you hear the wonderful stories.
Yeah.
And where was I at about 5 years ago? It
would be fun.
But
it would be, if you look back and all the people that I have met, I've met some really great people, and I've met some people that we all do, that you don't really want to.
You've built yourself such a great name here in town and in the area. Your real estate, you can literally take a $60,000, and turn it into look like $1 million house with your photography skills.
Thank you. I've learned. It's been 15, 16 years I've been doing the real estate stuff.
Yeah.
And how I got into that is some lady flew in and she was looking. She wanted a head shop, but then she was telling me about she had 3 days to find a house, and she had like $300,000. This was back 15 years ago. $300,000 to find a house in 3 days, and she goes, and honestly, Joe, if they didn't look good online, I didn't take the time to go because I don't have the time to go.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, there you go. Because if they look crappy online, she's not going to go look at it.
Yeah.
So they need to look good.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, all of your, you always take good photos, but your real estate ones are absolutely incredible.
Thank you.
I follow you really just to see those. I was like, okay, what's
Buy now. There's some beautiful houses
Oh,
out here.
absolutely. And they're not sitting on the market very long though.
No.
So I know you do quite a few for Polly. So
Yes, I do all of her stuff. And one of the biggest things I shot was like $8.5 million. It was a 23,000 square foot.
where was that at?
Up by right where LeBron lives, right? A couple houses.
Oh, in Bath there?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Guy was a doctor, and that place was humongous. But it took a while to sell. I don't think he got what he wanted for it, but it took a while.
You have a limited market when you get to that price point.
And it's like some of the realtors say you're better off just to buy land and build at that point because you're buying somebody else. At $5.5 or $8 million,
Yeah.
you're buying somebody else's dream there. So it's like you could probably build something. But now I don't know. Everything is skyrocketed with building. It's crazy.
And there's no inventory. If you,
No.
a couple of years ago, I was
COVID during that time, I worked every day with those realtors, and honestly, they didn't probably need me, but they had me there because it sold like it was crazy.
I remember just not that long ago, I bought 3, 4 houses. I think in a really close period of time. I didn't pay over $25,000 for each one of them. Made a quick deal, totally redid them. They're rental properties now, but you can't.
You
That
can't
doesn't
do it.
exist anymore. That's for sure.
No,
And that wasn't that long ago. So
Unless the house is really dilapidated.
they weren't. It was just.
No,
Yeah.
if you could do it now.
Yeah, they had good bones. They just needed a new bathroom and new cabinets. But those days are long gone. I feel, and who knows what the market's going to do? I don't think anybody has any idea. The stock market's all over the place right now.
I'm still busy shooting real estate. I'm doing portraits. I'm doing a little bit of everything. So it's still the real estate's still moving.
Yeah,
I think it'll continue for a while.
and you're probably going to get into the cycle for the seniors then coming up here soon. Right?
Yeah, I used to do a lot of seniors, but now I've been doing more corporate stuff. So I just work with Atlantic Foods. I don't know if you know them.
Oh yeah.
They supply a lot of restaurants, and
Aren't they building a new warehouse, or did they build one?
it's
I
all
heard?
done. Yep,
It's done.
I was
Is it
up
in
there
now?
shooting. Yep.
Awesome. Good for
I
you.
was there for
I love your new space here.
Thank you. Thank you.
know,
It's more of a homey feel. I don't know. I like it.
It is.
I like it.
I do have another billboard that I was cycling for a while that is similar. It's dark humored. Okay, we like to have a little bit of a shock.
You gotta have dark humor.
But it says when texting and driving was the big issue at the time. This a couple of years ago, we had one up that said, "Go ahead, text and drive," and then ... signed by us. I mean, if you want to, it gets the point across.
Did that people get upset with that
Actually,
too?
believe it or not, I got less flack for that than I did for the
People
distance.
probably didn't get it.
Well, whatever. There's always going to be people that'll be upset about something. Was it Lincoln that said, "You can please all the people some of the time, and some of the people all the time, but you can't please all the people every time." And
Yeah, you're the one that gets hurt if you try.
our goal is to try and please as many as we can, but we also know that
You're the last one to let them down.
it's true. Last one to put a smile on your face too.
It's all a standard
I
joke.
could go for days on those. So.
Stop in for a cold one, that type of thing.
You stab them, we slap them. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, we can do that. Joe, I appreciate you
Yeah,
you having me over and inviting me for this.
I appreciate you doing it.
I need to go get my turkey. I guess I should have done that a few days ago.
No, get them fresh. Get them fresh.
Oh no, absolutely. Yeah, no frozen turkeys in our
I
house.
don't even know where you get them fresh now. Where do you go?
Bueller's actually, yeah, we order one from there. Bueller's in Jackson. They'll do a fresh one for us.
Who is it?
Bueller's.
Oh, Bueller. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's my next stop tonight. But unless we have anything else.
We're good. We're good.
I really do appreciate this, Joe.
I appreciate you,
You've been a good friend, and I know the first time I ever actually met you in person was 8-9 years ago, probably. You did a wedding at 121 in Madison.
Oh, yes,
with the
yeah.
Toms.
Yeah.
And that was I'd always seen your work, but I'd never met you. And
That was a fun wedding.
it was a good wedding.
Hey, the candle company too, right?
Yeah,
Candle shop.
yeah,
Yeah,
And
that's been a long time ago.
I'd seen you for years prior to that point, and
Was that
I'd
more-
never met you. And then that wedding happened, and that was the first time I met you.
Was that more than 9 years? Maybe not.
It might be. Time flies.
It's
I feel like, I remember going to my freshman college dorm in 2003 vividly, like it was yesterday. And sometimes I can't remember what I did.
yes.
It's time flies, and here we are. So, but my advice to everybody is, if since we're talking about the concept of funerals, is enjoy life, live it for today. Tomorrow is not guaranteed, and it's definitely not going to be a long-term thing. Eventually, it will end. So enjoy life.
That's right. You only have so many summers, so many. That.
So many weekends. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you doing this.
I really appreciate you having me, and thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Well, we'll get together and do some shooting.
Absolutely.